Hi, welcome back to the Bernie Hayes Show. We have some interesting information today from Mwalimu Sean Nichols today on the Bernie Hayes Show. Welcome back. My guest is Mwalimu Sean Nichols of Baragani.
Missouri Sante Baragani, sir.
Sante Sana. Mwalimu Sean Nichols.
Yes, sir.
And what do you do now?
I am an educator.
You are an educator.
I work with young babies. And when I say young babies, I'm talking about ages 3 to 21 years old.
Doing what?
I'm a principal. And so as a principal, I make sure that the overall operations of the school is running effectively, making sure students are getting what they need.
What school is this?
The schools that I facilitate, schools are Sumner High School and Fresh Start Academy.
My goodness, so you've been right there in the Ville.
Right there in the Ville, in the heart of the Ville.
You know, last time I saw you a long time ago, you were embracing Afro-centricity.
Yes.
And you were teaching and living a life of Afro-centricity.
Yes, sir.
And,
Yes, sir.
and I assume you're still doing that.
We are still doing that. We are still doing that. And many of our community members and family, parents, they are requesting that we expand the African Center concept. And some of my parents and community members are asking that we expand on the elementary school level as well as ensuring that we expand at the high school level. So I'm really excited to be a part of this change in St. Louis and see that our community is embracing African-centered education and knowing, helping students understand their identity, purpose, and direction of where we go and how we can shape the future of St. Louis.
Well, Sean Nichols, Mwalimu, when did you come into consciousness? Why did you embrace this and how?
I embraced this consciousness while I was attending college, at Tougaloo College in Jackson, Mississippi. Tougaloo. And
very famous.
And at that time, Tougaloo College was very responsible for helping me develop as a human being. And developing as a human being, part of that was learning how to advocate for learning my history and culture. And so they were very, very engaged in helping their students understand who they are and mobilizing them to really just be a part of the community and not allow anyone to teach you about your history and culture. So this is something you must do. And so working with Chokwe Lumumba, who is, and Richard Dockett, I met them at a African Liberation Day, and I think 1991,
wow.
1993 on Tougaloo campus, and they working with the Black United Front in Mississippi. They asked me to move to St. Louis, and I told them I wanted to be in education, so I can start integrating African culture and history inside of schools, because many of our schools did not have that African-centered pedagogical approach to teaching and learning our students. So here I am. So Richard Dockett told me in Mississippi, and may he rest in heaven, he asked me to call him when I moved to St. Louis. And when I moved to St. Louis, I gave him a call, and I started working with him. And many of these great people here in St. Louis, they were the ones, Terry Kennedy, all of these people, they're the ones that... Kujaliwa. They're the ones that kind of helped shape me in this journey toward that African-centered education, that journey toward African, that culturally responsive pedagogical approach toward teaching. So I'm really I respect them highly, and I appreciate what they've done for me.
Was that Chakwe senior or junior?
Chokwe Senior. Chokwe Junior was a baby.
Sure.
But Chokwe Senior,
The mayor?
The mayor, he rests in heaven as
Sure.
well. So he was responsible for bringing Tupac to Tougaloo, and when he brought Tupac to help get the young people involved and being an advocate and celebrating black culture, African culture, that really got me excited about being a part of helping reform and liberate our community to make our communities better. So I've been on that journey since then.
This is great. How has it made you a better person, in your opinion?
Oh, it has made me not only a better person in terms of my character, but being able to kind of see things from a different perspective.
Sure.
And so being able to look through the lenses of the experience of the African person, the African American. So when you see things or you experience things or you see the news, you want to be able to ensure that not only if you're hearing certain things, you want to make sure that our community is represented. You want to make sure that our experience is included. So we just want to make sure that we want the world to know that people of African descent are here, and we have to have a voice at the table in every aspect of what we're doing in this country.
That's great. Richard Dockett's son, Kamal Dockett, just left New Life Evangelistic.
Really?
He was a program director here until about 3 or 4 months ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so that connection is still
That is
lingering.
amazing.
Yes.
That is amazing.
So Kamal Dockett was Richard's son, and he's just left New Life Evangelistic Center where we are right today. You know, it's interesting that they came to Tougaloo because Dr. Ben Yakinen was invited to Grambling State University.
Yes.
And only 8 people showed up because they didn't know who Dr. Ben was.
Wow.
But the next night they had a dance and it was overflowing.
Wow.
How does that impact you? What are your thoughts about that? How can we educate people about Afrocentric values and the history, just the history themselves?
Yes. I think the way we do that now is, and I had to learn, we can't expect people to really learn and know the truth about African history and culture, and we cannot blame a lot of young people and people don't know. We can't blame them for that. So what we have to do as educators is meet them where they are. So, and when you explained about the experience of Dr. Ben going to Grambling State University and only 8 people showed up, well, I've learned from some grassroots people that there has to be a partnership when we're trying to educate and liberate young people, partner with those DJs and say, hey, look, we have some consciousness, some great things that we want to offer the community. I know you're doing a dance tomorrow. How about if you give us a segment to come on and speak about these things and get people involved?
That's great.
And so what we can do is we can partner. You have tools that we need, and they have tools that we need. So what we can do is we're all struggling to ensure that things are in place to help people of African descent and people in the African American community. We want to work together as a collective. So we can partner with DJs and say, hey, look, give me a segment to talk about the great things that are going on that can help our community.
Sure.
And assign people to give out different recommendations of what they can do to help support the community, a sign-in sheet, and just say, hey, look, we're at the party, we're talking, we'll start the party in about 20 minutes, but we want to talk about this. And then after we talk about this, talk about our action plan, and then we can get back to the party. I heard some organizations like CORE, SLIC, many of them use these strategies years ago in the 60s. Yeah. And in the 60s, they used those tools because they knew that some people may not come out to support those things. But if you can integrate and partner with some of the DJs or different people in the community that have a connection with the community, you have to do what you have to do. And I think just 2 weeks ago, I was with the actor, I forgot his name. He is...
It'll come to you.
Yeah, it'll come to me.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
But he was saying the same things we have to do at the grassroots level to liberate the people in any way necessary.
When I was a disc jockey, that's what I used to do. In fact, I used to connect with Dr. King and the civil rights movement. Whenever they would be moving to different cities, I would tell the people where they're going to be and so forth.
Yeah.
In fact, Bull Connor called and wanted to have me arrested one time.
Whoa, whoa.
We'll be back with our guest, Mwalimu Sean Nichols, who's the principal and educator at not only Sumner High, but Fresh Start Academy. And we have so much to talk about. I want to ask him about his HBCU experience at Tougaloo and how that the curricula at Sumner High and Fresh Start are affecting the parents. But in the meantime, I want you to know that we're at 2428 Woodson Road. That's in Overland, Missouri. We're no longer downtown at 1411 Locust Street, but Reverend L.A. Rice is still trying to get it back open. And we need your help and support because all the services that were provided down there are now provided here. You may see these wonderful mugs in front of me. This is from Harris-Stowe State University, from Webster University. This is from Dr. Judge Judy Draper, who gave this to me from the inaugural. But this is a very important one to me. The Bernie Hayes Show. And I would like for you to have one. And it's easy to get. And Reverend Larry Rice will tell you how.
Have you got your Bernie Hayes mug? Yes, your gift of $24 to help us to get back into the 1411 Locust building will help so many hurting and homeless people. And when you share that $24 gift with New Life Evangelistic Center at P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri at 63166, ask for your very own Bernie Hayes mug. We have a limited number of these, and we're going to just share a limited number with individuals that contact us first. A great collector's item and a way of saying thank you. It's our way of saying thank you for caring about so many hurting and homeless people that literally depend on this building. There's so many that are wandering the streets right now. We could get it open right now for our day center services. If you'll go to God and you will pray, you'll get your church involved and and share your gift now. Remember, $24 or more, request your Bernie Hayes mug. And it's just a very special way of saying thank you for caring and standing with the homeless and the hurting at this time, to reopen a building in downtown St. Louis that they can come in and get showers, and get their mail, and have a hot meal, and be able to rest, and do their laundry, and just to have so many other direct services that we take for granted on a daily basis. We want to be there when people are hurting. We're out on the streets right now. But we've got to get back into this building at 1411 Locust. And your prayers will definitely make a difference. And just to tell you how much we appreciate you, we want to send you this very special mug, if you'll just request such. So send your gift now to New Life Evangelistic Center, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri at 63166. I want to thank Bernie and all the years he's been working together and helping us here, and all of you that have been partnering with us. Without precious people like you, we couldn't continue to be there when people are hurting. I want to thank God for each and every one of you that are praying, caring, and sharing at this hour.
And welcome back. My guest is Mwalimu Sean Nichols, and he's the principal of Sumner High School and also for the Fresh Start Academy here in St. Louis, and they have an Afro-centric point of view. Sean, you went to Tougaloo.
Yes.
Historically Black College University. What was your experience there, and why did you choose Tougaloo? And are you glad that you did?
Yes. Well, I chose Tougaloo because Tougaloo, number one, had a history of restorative justice. Mm-hmm. Tougaloo was that school that we knew had a connection with the community, and Tougaloo resonated with me because many of the civil rights leaders used Tougaloo as a guard to really help go out and fight racism and white supremacy in the state of Mississippi, and Tougaloo was at the forefront of many of those leaders that struggled and resisted that domination. And so many of the leaders and different people involved around that struggle, they had a presence, and those were the people that really resonated with me and the person I wanted to become. Mm-hmm. So there were other colleges that I really wanted to go to, but Tougaloo was that particular school that gave me that consciousness, and I wanted that consciousness from a university that had a connection with the community
And
in a different way.
Sure.
And so it had an international connection, and although Jackson State was another school I really respected highly.
Down the road, right down the road, yeah.
But we still partnered with Jackson State on a lot of things. But Tougaloo was that university that really demonstrated resistance toward changing the system and making the world a better place. And that's where I got my inspiration.
Great.
And I still to this day love the energy and the power that they gave me at Tougaloo College.
And Hinds County has a history of bad things, but they certainly have a history of good things
Yes,
too.
definitely.
Yeah. I mean, Ross Barnett, when he was the governor of Mississippi,
Yes.
He left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths.
Yes, yes.
Now, let me ask you, I have two questions to come for you. The parents of the students
Yes.
at Sumner and also Fresh Start,
Yes.
how are they receiving this wonderful, wonderful information?
Believe it or not, quite well. But now I've only been at Sumner for a month, a few weeks. However, I would start at Pomoja, where one of the founders there at the birth of Knox Gilgit Pomoja.
You were my guest at my radio show
Yes.
when you started that.
Oh, yes.
You were there 3 years ago, yeah.
Definitely. And so it really started there, where some of my Fresh Start parents wanted to send their children to Pomoja, where that connection really started.
Right.
So Fresh Start Academy, many of my students who were parents of some of the students at Pomoja, helped market the school, and parents marketed the school, the community marketed the school, the district. We had a lot of support. And so from that small cadre of parents, community, support from the district, we were able to mobilize building that school from 140 students to almost 400. And
This is beautiful.
And many of the students that attended, many of the parents had a level of consciousness, and that level of consciousness really helped develop the school and build the values of the school. And we extended from preschool to 8th grade. And many of my parents at the 8th grade really wanted to expand to a high school, and we did not have a high school at the time.
Yeah.
And so Dr. Adams one day asked if we can,
Superintendent Adams.
The superintendent,
Sure.
Superintendent Adams. So Dr. Adams,
Kelvin
superintendent, really wanted to expand to the high school. So he gave me an opportunity to expand around the rich culture and history of Sumner High School. Sumner High School, the oldest high school west of the Mississippi.
Certainly, yeah.
And so what we have to do is re-instill those values, even though many of the schools may not say Mwalimu, they may not have the African language, but many of our teachers of Old Sumner and Old Vashon, they had those values. They had those community values. They had the values of really ensuring that we are involved and supporting our students in every way and building community. And so we've kind of allowed that to get away. And so what I'd like to do is use those values, use the African-centered culture, use that to reconnect back to that old history of Sumner. How do we reconnect back to Sumner? How do we build that legacy back to Sumner? And so my role is to rebuild that legacy, bring that back to the Ville, because there's so much history there. How do we connect the Ville to Africa? How do we connect that Ville to Pan-Africanism? Sure. How do we connect that Ville to a high level of literacy in terms of making sure that our students are reading at high levels? So the table is tall, but I know St. Louis is a powerful place, and it has great people, and I know we can do it.
How can they reach you and get more information?
I can be reached at Sumner High School or Fresh Start Academy. You can reach me at Sumner at 371-1048.
That's area code 314-371-1048. Okay, is that a website or anything?
St. Louis Public Schools. You can also reach me at Fresh Start. It's 314-531-2220. And
531-2220.
531-2220. That's at Fresh Start Academy.
Okay.
And Fresh Start Academy is a school for students that may have struggled in school and they have not been able to acquire all of the high school credits. You can come to Fresh Start Academy and you can still receive your high school diploma.
That's what it means, fresh start, right?
Fresh start. And you can get your high school diploma. And you may be 20, 21 years old and you have 2 credits. And we work with you on your skills to help you pass the HiSEC test. And once you pass the HiSEC test and meet small other little criteria in the school, we can help you get your high school diploma at Fresh Start Academy. And I have some of my parents from Pomoja, which are parents at Pomoja, who do not have high school diplomas. And they are at my high school. So parents at Pomoja, and then I have parents at Fresh Start trying to get a high school diploma. So we're trying to educate the community. So I'm really happy to be in a place where we can serve and support little children, as well as young adults, as well as high school students. So it's a big
even
community.
Seniors if necessary.
And even seniors if necessary.
Even our elders.
Yes,
This
yes.
is great. My guest is Mwalimu Sean Nichols. You know, we're at the 2428 Woodson Road in Oberlin, Missouri, 63114, in case you want to Google us. But we still need help and support just to continue the services that we're providing here for those in need. We need your help and support. We need water. We need clothing. We need food. But we need a tax-donated, tax-deductible, that is, investment in New Life Evangelistic Center. And you may do that through Post Office Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, 63166, or online at www.newlifeevangelistic.center. That's one word, newlifeevangelisticcenter.org. And your gift, your donation, your investment takes less than 2 minutes through MasterCard, Visa, American Express, or Discover. It's so well needed. We'll come back with Mwalimu Sean Nichols and talk about some heavy hitters he's been with recently after this.
Now you can take NLEC TV anywhere as you put the NLEC TV app on your iPhone or mobile device. NLEC TV is the innovative TV station that's on the cutting edge of community service. When you tune in to NLEC TV, you'll discover a television station that has been operated by previously homeless individuals who've received broadcast training through New Life Evangelistic Center's unique on-the-job training program. On NLEC TV, you'll discover wholesome family, community, renewable energy, and inspirational programming. Those needing energy assistance, food, clothing, or freedom from the cycle of homelessness will find that plus much more on NLEC TV. Now, you can receive NLEC TV by going to 24.2 on your television set or putting the NLEC TV app on your iPhone or mobile device. For further information, call 314-436-2424 or go to nlecstl.org. That's nlecstl.org.
We'll return to our guests after this Black History Moment. Today's subject is Ella Baker. And through decades of work with the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People and later with the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC, Ella Baker emerged as one of the most important women in the civil rights movement. She was born December 13, 1903 in Norfolk, Virginia. She graduated as a valedictorian of both her high school and college graduating classes. In 1927, she became a journalist for the American West African News. And by 1930, she was named managing officer of the Negro National News. In 1941, Ella Baker became an assistant field secretary of the NAACP. In 1956, she organized In Friendship, a group that raised money for the Montgomery bus boycott. Although she never joined SNCC, Baker arranged and coordinated sit-ins for the new civil rights organization, and she continued to organize students involved in political activism through the 1970s. In recognition of her work, she was awarded a Doctorate of Letters in May 1985. Ella Baker died on her birthday, December 13th, 1986, at the age of 83. Ella Baker.
In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, I would have told you. I am going there to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am.
For just 80 cents a day, you can help many people in need all around the world. That's only $24 a month. The New Life Evangelistic Center wants you to help feed the hungry and shelter the homeless by joining Club 24. For $24 a month, you can be a part of touching people's lives. For just 80 cents a day, you can make a difference in someone's life. Call 314-881-3210 or give online at newlifeevangelisticcenter.org.
And welcome back. My guest is Mwalimu Sean Nichols. He's the principal of Sumner High School and Fresh Start Academy. And Mwalimu, I understand that you were with Bob Moses, Dave Dennis, Danny Glover, and other fantastic and Afro-centric names and people of the civil rights movement, and also those who are making changes today. Tell us about that experience.
Yes.
We only have about 4 minutes, but can you squeeze it in there?
Sure, sure. One thing I do remember is that they both, Bob Moses and Danny, they strictly encourage young people like myself. Yeah. They said, be careful not to give our children, the name is called sharecropping education.
Okay, all right.
And we asked them, what do you mean sharecropping education? And so they basically wanted us to understand that if you're not giving our children quality education and you're not working diligently to ensure that our children are receiving a quality education, then we're doing our children harm. So anything that's not at the level of high quality education for our children, then we're doing them a disservice. So we have to be advocates in education and fighting for our children. So these elders that gave me wisdom and knowledge inspired me to keep going. And I was really happy to see that the level of wisdom that they are giving educators, even though they are not in education, they are still working in many different levels of education to support principals, superintendents, board members. These heavy hitters, oh my God, I was really fortunate and to spend some time with those gentlemen out in Washington, D.C.
At Fresh Start and Sumner, are you teaching the learnings, or are you exposing them to Malefe, Dr. Ben, yeah, and the others who came before us? You know, so many I could name. It just take me so many hours just to name each one of our ancestors and scholars. They teach these. You teach them about those Afrocentric. We
definitely teach our children about many of our elders and our ancestors that contributed to the struggle of liberating our communities. We not only teach them about the history of our civil rights leaders, our activists, but we're teaching them about their culture and how to integrate that to help heal our communities.
Okay. Before we leave, before we run out of time, I want the people to know how to reach you again and how to get more information about the Fresh Start and also Sumner.
Great. You can reach me at 314-371-1048 at Sumner. And I can also be reached at 314-531-2220 at Fresh Start Academy.
That's 531-2220. 2220.
2220.
2220. So that's pretty easy to remember. I just want to say Asante Sana. And thank you so much for coming.
No, thank you.
I hope you come back again. Tutanana.
Thank you. Tutanana. Thank you, sir.
And I want to thank each and every one of you for viewing us again today. I sincerely hope that you learned something. Keep Sumner and Fresh Start Academy in mind, because it's a wonderful, wonderful place, and you can make many contributions, and they will make some contributions to you and your life. I'm Bernie Hayes. Thank you so much for being with us today. Look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.